doctrinal points that you try to prove or disprove, right? And I wanted to mention one story in Jesus' life that at some point I realized I'm misunderstanding something about reality because I'm trying to keep two things together that disagree with each other in my brain. So here's what I'm talking about. Matthew 16:23, very famous moment in Jesus' life and ministry. He's telling his apostles that he needs to suffer and die after being rejected in Jerusalem, but he'll be raised again. If you remember, Peter, and this is Peter coming off of his fantastic moment of congratulations from Jesus, because he got it right when Jesus said, "Who do people say I am?" He gave that beautiful answer, "You're the Christ, the Son of the living God," right? So Jesus says, God revealed that to you, that didn't come from your own head, basically, right? So anyway, right after this, Jesus says, who do people say, or sorry, that was the last part. He tells the guys, I'm going to be rejected, suffer, and die. Now, if you remember, Peter, on his high from getting the other answer right, he actually gets in front of Jesus. That's an important point. He gets in front of Jesus, his master, and he tells him, never, Lord. I'll never let that happen to you. And then there's this is the part I wanted to get to. There's this really terrible, for Peter, really terrible reaction by Jesus. He says, "Get behind me, Satan. You don't have in mind the things of God, but the things of men." Now, those listening might be saying, yeah, so what? Well, okay, think about this. Was he saying that Peter was being influenced by Satan when he did this? That's how I was raised. He said, "Get behind me, Satan," because Satan's coming in and influencing Peter to try to stop the crucifixion because he knows that this is going to be his undoing. So that's one thing. Satan knows what's coming and he's trying to stop it through Peter. But then there's another episode in Jesus' life. He's sitting at the table with his guys. Judas gets up to go betray Jesus, and John, the writer John, tells credit to Dr. Michael Heiser for really forcing me to look into this. One of those two things was not Satan. Otherwise, Satan is confused and he's not as smart as I think he is. So here's what I found out. When Jesus said to Peter, "Get behind me, Satan," Satan is not a proper name. Satan is the word for adversary. And then listen to what Jesus says to Peter. "You don't have in mind the things of God, but the things of men." Jesus didn't say you have in mind the things of demons or the things of Satan. He said you have in mind the things of men. You're coming at this from a human standpoint. You don't get what's going on here on the cosmic scene, right? So once I learned what we're going to be talking about, it all made sense. Why would not Satan try to stop Jesus from dying and suffering? Because Satan didn't know what the heck was going on. Satan didn't even understand what the plan of God was to try to stop it in the first place. So let's get to it. What is this